So after getting familiar with microbiology, we are going towards the last segment of microbiology. So right now we are heading towards the antimicrobials, how to treat the microorganism that we have studied. So the first class is penicillin, and penicillin is one of the first antibiotic which is discovered. So penicillin, how the penicillin act, all the penicillin classes, we have a lot, almost 4 to 5 classes of penicillin. So all penicillin classes are blocking the are the blockers of transpeptidase or transpeptidase enzyme. Like they block this enzyme and inhibit the cell wall synthesis. So whenever the microorganism cannot whenever the microorganism attempt to make the cell wall, it cannot happen because the person is treated with the person is under treatment of penicillin, under the action of penicillin. All the mechanism of action of all the penicillin is the same. All block transpeptidase. All have a common side effect. All the penicillin can cause hypersensitivity reaction. Like if a person is penicillin allergic, then it show penicillin hypersensitivity reaction. All the penicillins, they causes interstitial nephritis or kidney problem, except two of the penicillins. First penicillin which can cause autoimmune hemolytic anemia, and this penicillin is Penicillin G, the very primitive one, and Penicillin V. And also there is a pseudo membranous colitis. We have studied this in Clostridium difficile, pseudomembranous colitis, which is happened by Ampicillin or Amoxicillin. So if a person is if the person is under the treatment of Ampicillin, then it is under the category of the etiology of pseudomembranous colitis. So mechanism of action and all the side effects, they all are same in all the classes. The next one is penicillin resistant species. For all the penicillin all are penicillinase resistant except one is resistant, and that one is MRSA, under the category of MRSA. So the narrow spectrum Nafcillin, Oxacillin, they are resistant to penicillinase, but rest of the penicillin classes are penicillinase sensitive. Only the Nafcillin or Oxacillin, they are penicillin resistant. Rest of them are penicillinase sensitive and beta lactamase sensitive. So what is this penicillinase or beta lactamase? It is actually the bacterial defense system. We use an antibiotic like penicillin. It goes into the transpeptidase enzyme, inhibit that enzyme, and inhibit the working of that enzyme like cell wall synthesis. If 100 bacteria are under the exposure of that penicillin, then approximately 99 bacteria are killed, but only one bacteria survive, and that bacteria changes some do some mutation in the nucleoside of its DNA and alter the drug binding site of its respective protein like transpeptidase, and get survive from that antibiotics, and get dormant. And after a period of time, whenever the person is immunocompromised, then that single survived bacteria having a particular mutation is evolved. It get multiply and causes a resistant strain of bacterial infection. So penicillinase is one of the bacterial defensive response in order to cope up with the penicillin we have used. So first is the penicillinase enzyme, the second one is beta lactamase enzyme. Beta lactamase enzyme, and the third one is protein binding penicillin binding protein mutation. So these three are general mechanism of resistance which is present in different classes of bacteria in order to get resistant from that class of bacteria. So in the Nafcillin class, Nafcillin, Oxacillin, they have this penicillinase resistant enzyme. They are penicillinase resistant. It means that they are not effective with this penicillinase. So we give Nafcillin and Oxacillin to a particular organism which is penicillinase resistant. So the next enzyme is beta lactamase. So bacteria producing a beta lactamase enzyme in order to cope up, in order to make a defense from that penicillin or from that antibiotic. So beta lactamase is the mechanism of resistance produced by Penicillin G, and also the protein binding penicillin binding protein mutation is also the mechanism of action of penicillin G and V. Protein binding penicillin binding protein target site mutation is the mechanism of resistance of the bacteria which are exposed to Nafcillin, and those strains are MRSA. So all the penicillin block a same enzyme. All the penicillin have hypersensitivity interstitial nephritis. All the penicillin have these three enzymes in order to get resistant from that particular bacteria. And I am just here to elaborate only the high yield points which are keep on repeating in the examination. So what we will do whenever there is a beta lactamase, whenever there is a any kind of narrow spectrum, any kind of mutation, any kind of this beta lactamase exposure, so we always use beta lactamase inhibitor, which are the cost chemicals. C for clavulanic acid, avibactam, tazobactam, and sulfbactam. So these are the chemicals which we add with the subsequent antibiotics to increase the spectrum of antibiotic in order to kill a particular group of bacteria. So we are just broaden our spectrum in order to kill a particular type. So we always use beta lactamase inhibitor like cost with Amoxicillin, with Ampicillin, this family which are resistant, and also we use Piperacillin. So only Amoxicillin, Ampicillin, and Piperacillin we use tazobactam or sulfabactam or clavulanic acid to increase the spectrum of these bacteria, in order to increase the spectrum of these drugs. So all the penicillin are given orally except Piperacillin and Penicillin G are given in intravenous or intravenous route, while all other the Nafcillin, Penicillin V, and also we give Amoxicillin, we all give them from this oral route. So these are the general important points regarding the antibiotics penicillin group. So now we have discussed the mechanism, we have discussed the side effect, we have discussed the mechanism of resistance. Now discuss the clinical uses. which antibiotic used for which. The first class is Penicillin G or Penicillin V. We give to the gram positive, specifically the actinomyces for the dental related bacteria, for pyogenes, and for strep pneumo. And also we give Penicillin G to Neisseria family, and Neisseria meningitis and Treponema. The next family is Amoxicillin and Ampicillin, Amox and Ampi. And these are pretty much wide spectrum antibiotics, and we use a mnemonic HELP. So there are 2H, 2E, 1L, P, and 2 S's. So we give in the influenza, Haemophilus influenza, we give in H. pylori, we give in Enterococci, E. coli, Listeria, and then we give into Proteus, Shigella, and Salmonella. In these pathogens, we give that our treatment of choice is always Amoxicillin and Ampicillin, and we have known that Amoxicillin and Ampicillin always used with clavanic acid or beta lactamase inhibitor. The next family is Nafcillin. So always give Naf or Nafcillin for Staph aureus, and except the MRSA strain, we give Naf to the staph. And the last one is Piperacillin. Piperacillin is anti-pseudomonal, so we give into particularly gram negative enteric bacteria, enteric rot, especially the Pseudomonas aeruginosa and bacteroides. So these are just the general high yield points regarding, and these are always asking the question, like they clue us about this Piperacillin, that Pseudomonas and bacteroid. Its side effect is hypersensitivity reaction, interstitial nephritis. It is, yes, it is beta penicillin sensitive. Only Nafcillin is penicillin resistant, rest of the penicillin sensitive. Penicillin G and V are beta lactamase sensitive. And the next one is NAF for staph, except MRSA. Amoxicillin is a broad spectrum, we give this. And Penicillin G is general thing. IV only for Piperacillin and Penicillin G. Then use beta lactamase inhibitor for Amoxicillin, Ampicillin, and Penicillin. Then we have change in the target site for the penicillin binding protein is the mode of resistance of MRSA. And the next, these two are penicillins are all are D-ALA structural analogs, all bind to transpeptidase cell wall inhibitor. So this is the general high yield points of whole family of penicillin. I have collected all the material from the two side pages of penicillin, the first aid, and present it in a single page, so that in a one glimpse we can highlight all the important points regarding this penicillin topic.